Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's the end of the season, so it's cleaning time. So I'm back here in the bush. I got my tote full of permeate water. I'm gonna send a sponge down my 1-inch main line and flush some permeate water behind it. Give the inside of that tube a good scrub with the sponge. And then we're gonna start pulling taps, and I'll walk you through kind of how we do all this. It looks like some of the trees are still running pretty good, but the sap doesn't taste very good anymore. So it's time, the season's over, time to pull them. So let's get to work here. Okay, I got my little sponge here. I'm just gonna get this hose here. Here's my hose. I'm just gonna get the sponge wet with water first. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to get these trees out of my way first. Holy. Come on, water. Why aren't you coming? There you go. Get that sponge wet. Shut my valve for now. Shove the sponge. I know I probably showed you guys, but I'll do it again. Shove the sponge in the ball valve there. Hook our hose up with water. Open our tank with the water. Then open our valve and let that sponge go. It's the end of the season, so I'll let a bit more water in than I do in the middle of the season. This main line, I would set it up differently if I had to do it again. It zigzags a lot. So when we're going down pulling the taps, I'll show you what I mean, but something you want to try to avoid as much as possible. Every time you have a little turn in your pipe, you're creating more friction. So the more friction you have in your pipes, the less the sap will flow nicely, if that makes any sense. Okay, I think that should be enough water. Better close my tote or else I'll take that off and get soaked. Perfect. Not gonna get wet today. Although it is kind of sprinkling out today, so I'm gonna get wet no matter what. That's why I got this nice rain jacket on. Nice and bright, you can see me. Okay, I'm gonna get my stuff ready to start pulling taps. Okay, I'll be a model here for a second, but since we're in Canada, we're allowed to use isopropyl alcohol. So I got my backpack on with that. Got my spout puller, and something we're gonna try this year is spraying a blue dot beside each spile or tap, so that next year we don't have to spend so much time looking for the hole. We can just identify it quickly and not tap anywhere near it. So let's get going here. Okay, so another thing, you're on my forehead right now, so hopefully the camera angles are good, but I wear gloves. We learned that you should wear gloves anytime you're touching tubing or spiles or connectors, anything, because the grease and oils and salts off your hands get on the pipe or tubing, I guess as you should say, tubing. Gets on the tubing, and then that's what squirrels and stuff like to chew because they want to get the salts and greasiness from your hands. So wear gloves, and it should help prevent a lot of squirrel chews. Just something we've learned, so we're doing it now, and we're gonna find out if it makes a difference or not. But the way I do it, this 5/16 line here, I start at the main line and work my way to the end tree. So I'm gonna spray. The trees are wet, so I don't know how well the paint's gonna stay on them, but I don't have time to sit here and wait for it to stop raining. It's been raining every other day. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spray a little dot, blue dot beside the tap. Some people will spray it on the tap. I do not, because then I gotta touch the wet paint, and I don't wanna do that. So then we pop our spout out, let it suck air, And we put our little squirty nozzle on here, and we pump 2 pumps worth into it. And then we let it get sucked up. And what we do is we take our spout, we don't cut them off yet. We cut them off in the fall and put new ones on. We wrap it around the back side, and then we plug it into our tee. That way it kind of helps keep that up. So the liquid that's coming this way should not be working its way back into that drop. That's the idea anyways. Then we go to the next one and we repeat. I might spray a few of these blues so I can set this paint can down here. Oh, that one got a little too close to the tap. Some of these taps are high, but we also tapped on 2 feet of snow, so I guess that makes sense. I don't know if the painting part is worth it or not, but I'm willing to try things. If it's gonna make our life easier when it's minus 15 out when we're tapping, I'm okay with that. Ooh, gotta get my pump primed here again. There we go. You go around and in. This way, you also, so squirrels climb trees, right? So a squirrel will chew on this because they can reach it. If this is looped away from the tree, they're less likely to walk on this flimsy thing and get over to this to chew on it. So when you wrap it around, wrap it away from the tree if you can. And there is no rush. You do not need to rush pulling taps. Take your time. Do it properly. The temperature is nice out today, but it's definitely not sunny. So this one's pretty much right on the tree, which is a bummer, but we'll put her in there anyways. Okay, I'll spray these few trees. I need to figure out a better system to hold things. We got too many things in my hands. Hopefully the paint sticks. Hopefully I'm not spraying these wet trees for nothing. Okay, that's it for that line. I'll put this paint back in my pocket now. Okay, getting a phone call here. Okay, I'm back. Quick little phone call there and get back to work. I'm hoping this video you guys can see what the heck I'm doing with my hands. One thing is, don't squirt this alcohol in your eyes. It burns like a bugger, like not a fun, pleasant experience. I've done it and it hurts. And then you need to take a 10-minute break to regroup. So this is why I go from the main line out, because now I'm at the last spout here. And because they're dead end tees, so like the air doesn't go this way around the tree, the air stops at this. So the last flush, we give a couple good squirts of alcohol in the line, and then it all gets sucked through all the way to the very end. So there should be no sap left in the line by rights. I see I got some sap in these, or not sap, alcohol. Just open them up again. In my opinion, the drier you can get these at the end, the better. This one has upside down, that's why it's getting stuff in it. take your time. If you gotta walk the line twice to get the sap out of them, it's probably worth it so that you're not sitting there next year with a whole bunch of bacteria growing in your lines. I know if you're from the States, you can't do what I'm doing. You guys have to do a different practice, but this is what we're allowed to do, so this is what I do. But I'll keep pecking away. Maybe I'll set the camera up and do some time lapse or walk and talk and get you off my forehead so you guys aren't getting dizzy watching me walk around. I'm sure you don't want to be dizzy. The camera's shaking and... Okay, I'm gonna keep trucking here. Yeah, I probably do a lot of extra walking, but that's okay. It's good exercise. I know I'm just a small little guy with 1,000, 1,200 taps right now. But even if you are a big guy, it's still very important to take your time and make sure you don't miss any spouts. Make sure you get your lines nice and dry, clean. The more work you put in now to ending your season properly, the better the start to your next season should be. I'll show you guys maybe in a little bit, but I'll show you how important it is to make sure you always have air getting to your tree through the season. I've noticed a big difference going from that little guzzler and not having quite the right slope on all my lines to getting the proper slope on my lines and having a vacuum system that can keep up to the sap flow. I'll explain on the next line here when I get there. Stay. End of the season, everybody just wants to be done. They want to be done. They want to pack her up and go have a nap. Because they worked hard. Long nights, long days, chasing sap, chasing problems. But to be successful, if you want to try and make a go at this, you got to put in the time, beginning and middle, off season. Just put in all the time you can. Okay, I'm gonna take you to the next spout and I'll show you here. Oh, my gun fell out of my holder, my spray gun. This should be a good spot. I'm just gonna clamp you on here. You can look at my belly for now. Okay, so can you see how clean that is? There's no gunk in there. That's because we had good air getting to our tree all the time. So sap was never able to back all the way up to the tree. Once you start getting gunk around there, I'm pretty sure it's because the sap's backing up. So that's a good sign. We never had sap backing up. And I just pulled that spout and I did not spray it yet. And do you think you know? Oh, there's the hole. Okay. Getting ahead of myself here. We don't want to be doing that. Spray a blue dot. Oh yeah, that hole is still dripping a little bit, but I wouldn't want to be eating that stuff. Oh, my glove got stuck. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna keep trucking and I'll maybe set up a time lapse here in a minute. I guess I should say is I go in line too as I come up to lateral line, 5/16 line. Then I go and jump back and forth to hopefully let everything get pushed down the main line. Or if you do one side and then do the other, well then you don't know where the sap's left in your lines, or at least this way I know that it's all working downhill for me. That's my theory anyways. There's lots of theories out there. I'm just trying to find the best that works for me. Because what works for me may not work for the next person. So all I can do is share with you guys what I know and what I'm trying to do. And maybe it'll work for you, maybe it'll help you. Maybe it won't. Nice to have a cameraman just to follow me around, but I'm working with what I got. Oh, that one's way around. We'll get that in a minute. This is a fancy one. Look at how, I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but that's a long one. That is so I could keep the line on the south side. So this one might take a few loop-de-loos to hold up against the line here. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys how far these spouts are actually in the tree. So we drilled our holes 1.5 inches deep this year. So I'm gonna spray kind of the spout and then I'll pop it out here. Sorry for the bad angles. I'm trying to do this all one-handed with camera. Whoops, sorry. Okay. That's kind of a bad example, but the camera would focus. You can kind of see the line right, oh, shoot. Hold on, let me get situated here. Okay. This is a bad example, but you can kind of see right about there is where I sprayed it. So the top is really only in the tree a 1/2 inch. I don't know, is that a 1/2 inch? 3/4 of an inch? So, doesn't go in the tree very far. But I thought you guys might be interested in seeing how far that actually goes in. And our hole is 1.5 inches deep. If I had a tape measure, I'd measure that for you. But I don't on me, so. Man, being a cameraman and doing the work is hard. If I would have just clamped you like that on my main line, I could have showed you better. Okay, there's the definition line right there. So then it's only in the tree that much. Uh-oh, there she is. Couple nice squirties. I'll show you a good example of this line here in a second. How zigzaggy she gets. It's actually a really nice day. I know the sun's not out. I'd like the sun to be out, but other than no sun, not too windy. It's not cold. It's springtime now, springtime. I'll go for a quick walk here and then I'll come back up here and keep pulling taps. But there's one bend in my main line. That one's not too bad. But it's a friction point. Slows down the flow. Right here, trying to fall in the mud. We have a connection so we can open this up in the off season if we need to get in here and drive in. So I use these sanitary fittings because I find they bite into the tubing a lot better than those other quick connects that are stainless steel. Oh man, my wand keeps falling out of the holder. Needs to stay in there. There, maybe that'll stay better. I'll keep walking here. Must be a dead tree up there somewhere. There's a lot of shavings on the ground. Dead wood shavings. Here's another bend. Probably doesn't show up on camera too well, but there's a bend. Another friction point. Over here, there's another bend in the tubing. And then another one. And I'll just stand here and you can probably see there's a bend right there. And it goes over there and then it shoots back that way. So in hindsight, this should have been dead straight. But I was trying to be silly and pull them close to the tree so I didn't have too much wire, like this wire that helps hold it up. I'll explain everything I'm talking about when we start expanding and putting up new tubing, but these wires, it's okay if they're a little bit longer to keep your pipe straight. But at the time, I was silly and thought, oh, I gotta get them close to the tree. If I keep them close to the tree, less likely a branch or something's gonna fall and hurt it, right? Well, no, that doesn't help. This line is Willy Wonka. She needs to be replaced the next time we replace the tubing on this side of the bush. But it's working for now. I'm just letting you guys know. Try to keep your main lines as straight as possible. It'll help with the flow of sap a lot. Okay, we got main line 1 all done. Now we're walking back to the top of the bush to start on main line 2. Dad should be coming back shortly. He's gonna keep pulling taps while I go. I gotta clean my guzzler and everything yet. If you guys wanna know something really cool, I know I have a really tight bush. When we left on Thursday night, before we went on our road trip to Vermont, I came up to the pump house and kind of just slowed everything down so I wasn't running wide open because we weren't collecting sap anymore. But I closed the wrong valve, and there's no vacuum getting to my extractor anymore. So from Thursday night till, what's today, Monday, I don't know, at noon I guess I got back here, there's still 7 inches of vacuum on that extractor. That's pretty wild. That's 4 days pretty much of no vacuum to the woods, yet there's still vacuum on the system. That's pretty cool. Okay, once I start cleaning the guzzler, I'll pick up again and kind of walk you guys through that. It's kind of a pain in the butt to clean, but needs to be done. Everything gets cleaned at the end, so it's put back together and ready to go when we're ready to hit the switch next year. Okay, this video got a little longer than I expected of walking through the bush pulling taps, so in the next video I'll be cleaning the guzzler and the extractor out. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one.